Hi ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today we're going to go over the measurement word problems practice. And again, you could fast forward to the questions that you did to check your answers if you're unsure about anything, or you could watch me work through each one. It's up to you. So let's start with question number 1. Yuria is making scarves out of yarn that is 50.5 yards long. Each scarf needs 12.25 yards of yarn. How many scarves can she make? So we're going to take our total of 50.5. and we're going to divide that into pieces that are 12.25 yards long each. So to do this, we're going to have to convert both of these mixed numbers into improper fractions. 2 times 50 is 100, and 100 plus 1 is 101. So we have 101 over 2, and we're going to divide that by, well, 4 times 12 is 48. 48 plus 1 is 49. So we have 49 fourths. All right, so our first fraction is going to stay the same, 101 over 2. We're going to change the division to multiplication, and I'm going to flip the second fraction over. All right, so we have now 101 over 2 times 4 over 49. I'm going to cross reduce here just to make things a little bit easier. I'm going to divide both the 4 and the 2 by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So now we can multiply across. 101 times 2 is 202. And 1 times 49 is 49. 49 will go into 202 4 times. And let's just double check what 49 times 4 is, so we can see what the difference is. It's 196. So that has a difference of 6. We have 6 left over, and our denominator stays the same. So 4 and 6/49 scarves can be made. So not a whole one, but part of one. So we have 4 whole scarves and part of another scarf. It's appropriate here to leave your answer as a mixed number. The question did not ask how many whole scarves she can make, so we're going to leave that as a mixed number. Number 2, Miss Nagy grades each project in 1.5 minutes. If she spent 37.5 minutes grading projects, how many projects did she grade? So we're going to take the total time that I spent grading projects, that's 37.5 minutes, and I want to know how many times that 1.5 can fit into it. So we're going to change both to improper fractions. 2 times 37 is 74, plus 1 is 75. So we have 75 over 2 divided by 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. 3 over 2. All right, from here you can use whatever strategy you like. Keep, change, flip, which is multiply by the reciprocal, or you can divide straight across, if you notice that. So 75 divided by 3 is 25, and 2 divided by 2 is 1. So that's 25. So how many projects did I grade? 25 projects. All right, number 3. If you cut a 6 3/4 foot of lanyard into pieces that are 7/8 foot long, how many pieces of lanyard will you have? And we want to make bracelets out of these lanyards. So we're going to take the total amount that we have, and we're going to divide it into pieces that are 7/8 long. Let's change our mixed number to an improper fraction. 4 times 6 is 24, plus 3 is 27. So we have 27 fourths that we're going to divide by 7/8. We can't divide across here, so we're going to follow multiplying by the reciprocal or keep, change, flip. We'll keep the first fraction as it is, change the division to multiplication, and flip the second fraction over. So I notice that we can cross reduce here. 4 and 8 are divisible by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 8 divided by 4 is 2. That's easier multiplication and less reducing in the end. 27 times 2 is 54, and 1 times 7 is 7. All right, so 7 goes into 54 7 times. That's 49. The difference between 54 and 49 is 5. That's our remainder. So 7 5/7 pieces. Again, we can leave this in mixed number form. We don't have to round it. It didn't ask for how many whole pieces of lanyard you can make, so 7 5/7 pieces is an appropriate answer. Number 4, 2 1/4 pizzas are cut so that each person at a party receives 3/4 pizzas, or 3/4 of a pizza. How many people are at the party? So we have 2 1/4. We want to know how many pieces, 3/4 pieces we can make from it. 2 1/4 is the same as 9/4. And we're going to divide by 3/4. And this is one of those questions where you can divide straight across again, or you can follow keep, change, flip. So 9 divided by 3 is 3. 4 divided by 4 is 1. So 3 people are getting pizza at the party. Number 5, if you have 3½ chocolate bars and you give each of your friends 3/5 of a bar, how many friends will get chocolate? So we're going to take our total amount of chocolate. We want to split it into pieces that are 3/5 of the bar. So 3½ is the same as 7/2 divided by 3/5. We can't divide across here, so I'm going to follow multiplying by the reciprocal. We're going to keep the first number as is, change the division to multiplication, and flip the second fraction over. So I'm going to multiply straight across here. 7 times 5 is 35. 2 times 3 is 6. And when I change that back to a mixed number, we have 5 and 5/6. Now, it does not make sense to have 5 and 5/6 friends, right? In this case, we're going to have to round down to 5 friends. You can't round it up to 6 friends. You don't have enough chocolate to give 6 friends. So 5 friends will be getting chocolate, and you're going to have some left over. Number 6, if 4 pies are cut into 2/5 pieces, 2/5 size pieces, how many pieces of pie will there be? So we're going to take 4, we're going to divide it into pieces that are 2/5 big. We're going to write the first number as a fraction. We'll switch the division to multiplication and flip the second fraction over. That gives us 20/2, which is 10. Now, you may be wondering, can I do this by multiplying straight across? Let's see. If I multiply straight across, 4 divided by 2 is 2, but 1 divided by 5 is 1/5, or 0.2. We don't want a fraction inside of a fraction, so this is not the easiest strategy to use. Better to use multiplying by this reciprocal. Number 7, 10 bananas were used for making pie for a bake sale. If 2 1/4 bananas were used for each pie, how many pies were made? So we have 10 bananas, and each pie used 2 1/4. So we want to split that 10 into 2 1/4 groups. We're going to write 10 as 10/1. We're going to rewrite 2 1/4 as an improper fraction, 9/4. And now we can follow multiplying by the reciprocal. So we have 10/1 times 4/9. That's 40/9. And we're going to change that to a mixed number. 9 goes into 40 4 times. It's 36. So that means we have 4 left over out of 9. So 4 4/9 pies were made. It's possible to make a half a pie. If you picture it, it's just not going to be filled all the way to the top with the filling. All right, our last question here. If you cut a 3 1/5 foot length of wire into pieces that are 1/4 foot long, how many pieces of wire will you have? So we're going to take our total amount of wire. We're going to divide it into 1/4 long pieces. First step, we have to change that 3 1/5 to an improper fraction. That's 16/5 divided by 1/4. We're going to keep the first fraction as it is, change the division to multiplication, and flip the second fraction over. 16 times 4 is 64, and 5 times 1 is 5. And we're going to change that over to a mixed number. 5 goes into 64 12 times. That's 60. That means we have 4 left over. Denominator stays the same. So we have 12 4/5 pieces of wire. And again, this is appropriate here to have a mixed number. It didn't ask for how many whole pieces of wire can you make. All right, if you have any questions, please message me, or we will talk in our next Google Meet. Take care.